Thank you. Anyone else before we adjourn?
I'd like to comment on something about the e-bikes. Maybe just throwing this out there. The law director stated that every city is different, and there's truth to that. And I think it might be a good idea maybe to talk to the officers on the road because they know our city the best, I think, and the things that happen in our city. So they might have some ideas that I'm just throwing that out there. That if we talk to the officers themselves, that they might have better ideas to come up with some ordinances. It's just my two cents on that. But anyway, members of council, I wish the mayor was here. He's not. Fellow residents, I'm here tonight not to reintroduce myself, but to address a deeply and troubling and frankly an embarrassing situation that has unfolded in our city. Recently, the North Royalton Police Department posted a public job opening seeking to recruit new officers. Instead of the interest that it post was met with significant public backlash. The message from residents was clear. People do not want to work for a police department led by a chief who is widely viewed as corrupt. Rather than addressing the substance of those concerns, the city chose to silence them. Comments were deleted from that post and public comments was shut off entirely on the North Royalton Police Department Facebook page. That decision speaks volumes. It is embarrassing and it reflects poorly on our city. It sends a message to the leadership that they hide the criticism rather than confront the reality. This is not transparency, this is damage control, and it makes our entire city look bad. But that's just one piece of the troubling puzzle. We have an investigator who claims to have conducted an unbiased review of the chief's actions, yet refuses to release any evidence to the Fraternal Order of Police or the public. The unbiased investigation itself admits that the chief altered the police report, something that should never happen. You can drop the charges through the proper legal channels, but you cannot rewrite history by altering the police report, no matter who tells you to do so. That's unlawful, and you cannot simply blame someone else for breaking the law. And yet, the mayor treated this as it was a minor issue. What's even more telling is that the so-called unbiased investigation took months to complete, yet the mayor took less than 1 day to review its findings and declare the chief completely innocent of any wrongdoing. That alone makes it clear the conclusion was predetermined. This was all a plan from the start. Whoever this investigator is deserves to be investigated themselves because it is clear they injected opinion or followed direction rather than sticking to the facts, attempting to rewrite history by removing information from an official police report. To make matters worse, there are now rumors that the chief is now using our tax dollars to investigate Officer Lowe and other officers for allegedly sharing the information with an attorney that is deeply concerning. The mayor ignored a vote of no confidence, allegations of a toxic, unsafe work environment, allegations of sexual misconduct, and the confirmed alteration of a police report. But when officers or others speak out, suddenly that becomes the priority. That tells us exactly where this administration's focus lies. Let me be clear, if the chief thinks he can retaliate against Officer Lowe or any other officer, he is gravely mistaken. I will not stand by while our city is dragged further into embarrassment. It is time for this council to demand better. Frankly, let's talk about the glaring double standard. In just the past few weeks, there's been multiple OVI arrests involving loaded firearms, and I gave you guys a copy of the report. That's what's on your, and none of those reports were altered. They were handled properly, exactly as they should have been. Yet the arrest involving the deputy chief, suddenly the rules change. It's ironic and alarming that we are now seeing a pattern of DUIs with firearms after it became public knowledge that our chief did not just let someone off the hook. He actually rewrote the history to protect them. People are starting to see our police department as a joke, and maybe, just maybe, some individuals feel emboldened to break the law because they think that they can get away with it. That's not ironic. This is dangerous for our community. This is dangerous for our community. Thank you, and it's time to hold our leadership accountable for and restore the integrity to the city of North Royalton. Thanks.
mayor's report tonight?
No, there is one.
You want to do it under this or under department head?
I think I can do it now, if that's all right with you, Mr.
Absolutely.
President. All right. The mayor asked me to present a short statement on his behalf and in his absence this evening. I am aware of the frustrations of some people with the content of the Hoflick report from early December. The report found that the allegations offered by Patrolman Lowe were unfounded and that the chief and the lieutenant had done nothing wrong. A copy of that report went to the county prosecutor. The findings in the report were clear and persuasive, and I accepted them, and that investigation was closed. And that is where it remains. It was my decision to make, and I made it. It would be a great surprise to find that any controversial question that I must decide would have the full support of all those who are concerned. And that's the end of the statement.
Thank you.
Mr. President,
Mr. Law Director.
with your permission, gentleman spoke earlier about the police department Facebook page and comments that were, I don't know exactly how he put it, but that he was complaining about the fact that some people were not permitted to comment, I think. Let me give you at least a little background that we know. This past August, Lieutenant Redrup contacted my office and was looking for some guidance and direction. They had people or persons or bots making comments on their Facebook posts. And they wanted to know if they could selectively choose to block individual commentators. Mr. Schrader, my assistant law director, did the research and determined that, in fact, you cannot do that. The law will permit you either to leave all the comments or turn them all off, which so as to avoid discriminating against any individual. As I understand it, the police department then went and made the determination, the chief, I presume, made the determination to turn the comments off. Subsequently, there is additional history that I just came to learn a little bit earlier today, and I'll ask the chief to speak. I'll ask the chief to speak to the question of how the comments now apparently can continue to be made, even though the overall determination of whether to leave them on or to leave them off had already been decided and chosen some months ago.
Thank you. So at the time Lieutenant Redrup contacted the law department, I was unaware that he did so because I would have told him that he couldn't do that. And I've been aware that since the Facebook page opened that you can't block or delete comments. The issue with that is at the time it was determined that we would not allow comments on the Facebook page, and we were just pushing out information. And that's really what it's all been about since we started, is to push out information, not necessarily take comments back, or people would try to report crimes and stuff on there, which we don't encourage and don't want either. So I believe when I had originally set up the Facebook page in 2014 or 15, there was a setting where you could turn comments on or comments off, and it was just a one-time setting. And at the time, comments were on. When we went and revisited this a couple months ago, I believe, found that I couldn't find that setting anymore, and the only time you could turn that on or off is with each individual post. So every time a post is made, you have to determine whether you can comment on it or not. Lieutenant Redrup was told no comments. We don't want any comments on anything we post. Apparently, through some sort of Facebook thing, and I'm not a Facebook expert, if you turn the comments off for the post, apparently you can still make a comment on a picture that's attached to the post. So you may see some people being able to comment on those, or if they were tagged in the post, they could comment as well. The police department has not blocked anybody. We do not delete any individual comments, whether they're good or bad towards the department. Per the records retention schedule that we have, once a post is no longer of administrative value, it can be deleted. So basically, some of those posts that are of value would last a week or so, and then there would no longer be of value, depending on the information we put out. So basically, you could go back and delete all our posts because most of them are no longer of value anyways, but we don't. And the comments are attached to those. Most of them, some good, some bad. One problem we have is getting comments. I'm not worried about the criticisms of me, but bringing up a situation with an officer from years ago. So just this past week, I was back looking at the Facebook, and I had 85 missed comments. So I looked at those comments. So it was 85 of the same comment on 85 different posts from the past, all referencing this officer and a situation he was involved in. So it's the same person, same comments. I don't even know if it's a real person. Could be a bot that's just adding these comments to all our posts, which is not doing anybody any good. They're still up there. They're on old posts. But it distracts from what we're trying to do at the department. Those types of comments have hampered our recruitment. It sheds a bad light on the department for something that happened years ago, and with a previous chief and administrator, mayor, that we have nothing to do with. We had no decision as to what happened, and we're still getting penalized for it by these comments that have already been dealt with.
Okay. Does that conclude department head reports?
I think I want to say one more thing. People have been taking great liberty in making public comment that, in my estimation, may be defamatory, may be subject to litigation. I want to tell council that you have, as you sit here, limited immunity that the public does not have, which is to say, you may occasionally speak up and say something that might otherwise be defamatory, but by virtue of the law that protects you in the exercise of your trustees' duties and responsibilities, you're able to say things that might otherwise be the subject of litigation. I just want you to be aware of that, so that to the extent that anybody who comes up to that microphone and wishes to speak and be overtly critical, in particular in a manner that might raise a question of litigation, does not have the immunity that you have. I can't be any more specific than that because these things are generally fact driven. I don't encourage you to say things that are defamatory. But I want you to be aware of the fact that aside from the insurance protection that you have in the range of about $10 million, you also have limited immunity as a matter of law. Thank you.
Miscellaneous?
And we have, Michael wants to speak on the police chief.
All right, give me one moment, let me get my timer ready. And just as a reminder, you'll have 5 minutes, and it's not a back and forth conversation.
Oh, I don't want to hear from you.
I don't blame you. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, you may begin.
Okay, I'll try not to incriminate myself here and get sued by the city. Once again, I'm here to protest the police chief's handling of official police reports and fostering a hostile workplace environment as suggested by his officers. And I'll be reading slow to make sure that, again, I don't get sued for using my First Amendment right here. But nothing was done yet. I've been told that investigations are ongoing, but I've yet to hear or see anything other than the investigation that the mayor approved. Closed door meetings are happening too, but we, the residents of North Royalton, are left in the dark, wondering if we can trust the decisions and what they were made or how they were made. This really matters because the chief of police is a very important position, one that requires integrity, honesty, and to be duty-bound. I can say that personally, with how this situation has been handled, I do not believe that they possess, the mayor or the police chief possess these. Multiple accusations of hostile workplace, harassment, and of course, altering official reports. If this behavior is not tolerated by the officers under him, then it definitely should not be tolerated for the chief and given a stamp of approval by the mayor. But here we are. Just the past few weeks, there have been multiple OVI arrests involving loaded firearms, the exact situation which started all this. But none of those were altered, and yet when the arrest involved a deputy chief, the rules changed. And my question is, why? Why were those different? Chief saw fit to adjust the other officers' reports, but didn't see the same need to alter civilians. Again, why? People are starting to see our police department in a negative light. And then again, that is dangerous for our community. Again, a recent recruiting Facebook post was posted a few days where some residents made their feelings heard. Not myself, but I read them. Then the comments were turned off, and we've gone over that. That's a separate matter. But my question is, who will apply to our police force seeing that? Seeing the headlines? Cream of the crop? I doubt it. The chief's unlawful actions will directly affect the quality of our future police force recruits. North Royalton Police is making a name for itself, and it's not good. The mayor was quick to dismiss allegations from the police force about harassment in a hostile workplace, which they're still complaining about to deaf ears. He was also quick to exonerate the chief with the officer's report that was altered. And as far as I know, little has been handed over to the police union. To me, that screams issues. It screams serious issues that need to be looked into. And for myself, I've lost trust in both the mayor and our police chief. I want North Royalton to be a safe place for my family to live, but I know that's not possible with somebody who makes decisions in an extra effort to ensure his drunken buddies can freely cruise the streets with loaded firearms, and a mayor who enables him. This behavior makes us unsafe. I'm asking for City Council to open their own investigation into the chief and these issues and allegations, and review the allegations on this case and the allegations from his own officers. And after that, I request that their findings be published publicly, because we, as citizens of North Royalton, deserve at least that. Thank you, and please don't sue me for my First Amendment right. Thank you.
All right. Any other requests?
I have one request, Michael. If that was a read statement, can I have it to make my minutes easier?
No, because I altered it
Okay.
because of threats.
Okay. Okay. Any other requests? All right.